Well, a gCADPlus user who's based in the United States would like to have a path running through the centre of his design, but what he doesn't want is this sort of sausage shape. He wants the end of the path to be squared off, and asks how best to do that. Well, I'd be inclined, I think, rather than to use a polyline, I'd be inclined to use a spline, although I've drawn with the spline a relatively smooth curve. You can make the curve as tight as you want with a spline. So we have the edge of the path defined, and I'd now be inclined to use the offset command and specify a point on the side to offset. I'll just escape from there and call the command again, offset, and pick the object to offset. I'll right click and I'll nominate a distance. I've measured the width of the path and it's 4, but let's imagine for the sake of argument it was 4.5 feet. I'll click on through point, right click again, and well, we go 4.25, 4 foot, 3 inches, and we'll go OK. So it's a US example, so everything is in decimal feet, and I'm just asked to indicate the side. So we can exit from there now, and there'll be a little bit of tweaking to do at this point with the spline. We just want to square off the ends, and I'll come in here. You can see how handy it is with the little swivel handle at the end. And now I need to close that space, so I'll draw a line from the end of there to the end of there. I'll repeat the line command again from the end like so and the end like so. So let's imagine we now have our path. If I pick the existing one, it's colour 254, so we want to fill it, and let's do that with a hatch. So draw, hatch, and we can now pick a point inside the space, and gCADPlus radiates out and finds the boundary, so we can hit enter and we'll fill it. We can pick it, change its colour to 254 and OK that. Now we've created a path with a squared off end. You might dislike that sort of edge to it, but I'm relatively happy. You can manage to, you can select. We have a number of things in here. In the list we've got the polyline and the hatch itself. So you could actually change the layer of the polyline or change its colour, and that sort of somewhat, that slight fuzzy edge to it would disappear. But what I am going to do is move to a layout. Maybe we'll make a new layout. A new layout. There's ANSI A. I'd be inclined to make a new layout using architectural A rather than the ANSI, and we'll make it landscape and OK that. It goes to layout 4. Don't forget that we can rename that in the layouts manager, and we'll, rather than layout 4, we'll call it test spline, and we'll OK it, and there we are. I'll double click in here and we'll put the magenta box around the space that we've been working with and display it on the layout. I'll just fill the screen there, and I'll change the colour of the floating viewport to white so it will not show. And just for a quick test, I'll take off the grid with zoom extents. I just want to see what the edge of that path comes out like in a PDF. So let's go save as a PDF. Whoops. Save as PDF. We'll go Window and Maximum. Let's just have a look at the result. And we'll put it on the desktop, and we'll call it USA example, and we'll save. So a PDF file's being generated now, and I just want to see what the edge of that path looks like, and I'm relatively happy with that. I'm not inclined to go in and change layers and play around. So I think that's an easier way to get the result that our US user is after. When I reviewed the movie, clearly my naming change did not work. And the reason for that, let's do it again, Layouts Manager. You can change the name in here. We wanted to type it as, say, L spline check, and you have to hit the Enter key at this point. Or once that's done, the tab is updated.